Hello, all my kings and queens. I'm saying hi. Reporting live from the solar mine of China. Yeah, I think I like that. Peace and blessings, my kings and queens. We are at episode 5 of Sage Sunday. Woo! Applause. So, this episode, we are talking about altars, spiritual altars, and ancestral altars, and what basically they can do for you, and what are you doing for them. So, I was like thinking of a topic to talk about. Something was like, talk about altars. I tried to think of everything that a lot of people ask me to talk about and go with that as a topic. And I know altars is one of them. So let's get into it. So, an ancestral altar is basically when you set up something, it could be a table, whatever, and you have pictures of your aunt, grandmother, all your ancestors who have moved on to the other side. And basically, you set out, their favorite drink, their favorite food, their favorite item, and you make it look cute and nice, and you also add water. No matter what you give them, water should be the number one main thing that is on your altar until it's time to change it out. With spiritual altars, whoever that may be, it could be Jesus, Virgin Mary, what's another altar? Santa Mortre, like all types of those spiritual, whoever that you go to when you pray. You can also have an altar up for them, whatever they like, and with water and all that. So the purpose of setting up an altar, not only for you know like dealing with shadow work and rituals of that nature, but it's also keeping your family with you. Your ancestors are with you no matter what, wherever you doing in life, they are always with you protected. So they're going to want to be set up really cute and with their favorite food and their favorite drink. Another thing that a lot of people kind of don't know when they're set up their altar, when you fix food in the house, fix them a plate as well. Fix them a little plate and set it by their picture until it's time to take it out, because you have to realize you have to set up your altar as if they were still alive, and they're alive with you in spirit, but the altar purpose is for you to give them all the things that they loved in the living life, to give it to them now. It's kind of like basically having a a Day of the Dead every day sitting on your table, pretty much. Except for that, this is an everyday thing. Having that altar also works with when you're trying to do shadow work, candle magic, rituals, all of that, because you have to realize if you're in that, or if you're interested into it, you having that altar, you can go to them and talk to them, and they can send you signs, messages. They can talk to you back and say, hey, this is what you need to do for this is what you need to do for that. Personally for me, this is what I do. So I have an ancestral altar, and I also have an altar for EFI. So I'm, currently dealing with EFI and studying that. And if you don't know what EFI is African spirituality. So if you ever heard of Oshun, Ogun, Obatala, Yoruba, all of those 7 African powers, that is part of EFI. Also in the Latin countries, that you will hear Santeria and things of that nature. And they pretty much are the same. Certain things are different. It's just more something you will have to study on. However, I have an altar for them as well. It's not all together. It is separated, and they have things that's set up that is for them. With EFI, it's certain things that I have to give to a Batala that I can't give to Ogun. As an offering, this is the things that they like, and it's different. even with my ancestral altar, which I have, like, if I'm not mistaken, 4 pictures up. Um, with those 4 pictures, they are literally together. They are side by side, but it's enough room to where each person, each ancestor has their own thing that they liked in the previous. I mean, not in the previous, but in this, the living life. It was crazy because, back in the day, before I really tapped into my, my spiritual work and tapped into, my energy and all of that, I used to have their pictures or any one of my family who passed all around, like, my room hanging up, because, I already felt that I didn't want to put them in a book and just close it. And so one day my mom was like, "Oh, you just got a wall full of dead people." And, I thought about it and I looked at it and I was like, you know what? She's right. And still during that time, I didn't really think of oh, okay, let me set up an altar. So, of course, you setting up your altar, you're going to learn along the way of, what you can do, what you can't do. And especially if you're doing shadow work and all that stuff, again, with your candle magic, which is great to place whatever you're trying to do by your ancestral altar, especially with, like, candle magic, especially when I'm dealing with that for either me, myself, or a client. um, I'm setting that candle in that ancestral altar for a reason. And so, whatever I'm doing, that's right there until it's time to remove it. My ancestors, they taught to me a lot, and that altar is placed right there for me to go to them if need be, or, they send me messages, signs, whatever the case may be, but it's up there. So, back in the day when I used to have all my family pictures up, I didn't think to make an altar. At that point, I put them in a photo book and closed it. But then, like I said, when I got into my spirituality, into my shadow work and all of this, then it was like, oh, you need to set them up. And, the crazy thing is, they want to be set up that way. They don't want to be in a book and closed. Your ancestors want to be praised. Your ancestors want you to acknowledge them by giving them that water or that beer or that wine or whatever they liked when they was over here. They want you to give them that plate of food along with you. They want to eat with you. They want to celebrate with you. They want to do everything with you. A lot of people expect your ancestors or spiritual, to help when there is a time that needed to be helped. But however, it's like, when it comes to things like this, I'm not gonna, it's a give and take. However, you have to also realize that they want to be not praised, but they want to feel loved still. They still want, like, their picture up and everything like that. And honestly, when it's time to deal with spiritual work and all that, that helps your spells so much faster, better, all types of stuff times 10. Because by you doing that and you acknowledging them, however, that helps. And so every time you do a new spell, every time you do a new shadow work, you need to have new things, new glass of water, new whatever they like, food, whatever you're offering to them. You're giving them a offering, and you're gonna want something in return, correct? Like, either you want more money, or you need something, whatever the case may be. You're expecting either your spiritual or your ancestors to help you with that. However, they want an offering regardless. And so, like, when it comes to altars can be set up any kind of way that you seem fit, any kind of way that, in your soul, that you feel like your ancestors will love. It's not a right or wrong way to set it up. It's not. It can be something that's very beautiful, something that's, like, somewhere that is very, what's the word, very comfortable, in your house or apartment or whatever, something that's private that you can go to and, give thanks and talk to them, whatever the case may be. So, with a lot of people, when they ask me questions, their main question is, oh, you know, how can I set up an altar? And it's funny because one thing I did notice is with some of my friends, they didn't even realize they were setting up an altar. They would put their person picture up and, oh, I'm missing them. So, they like oranges. Let me give them an orange today. Little do you know, you just pretty much set it up an altar. And so when they ask me how to do it, or what's the purposes of setting up altars, it's just giving thanks for them doing so much while they was here and doing so much while they're not here. People don't realize that when I tell you y'all ancestors have your back, they have your back. No matter what you're going through, at the end of the day, I guarantee you they still is gonna have your back. And so, like I say, with these altars, even with the spiritual, everything I'm saying about the ancestral, same thing with the spiritual as well. When you need something or you need help, or everything like that, you still have to go to them. So they want to be loved, they need their offerings, everything of that nature too. So, you know, anybody who's listening to this, who's ever been curious, or who's, constantly still learning about altars, just put love into it, of course, because clearly you're making altars for people you love and spiritual that you love. And just, set it up, like I said, real beautiful, real nice, somewhere private. And just, basically give thanks. Just give thanks. Setting up an altar does not have to be hard at all. It does not have to be hard at all. So, this episode wasn't really going to be that long. But yes, so I just wanted to give you guys a little information on how to set up altars, what's the purpose for them, and, all of that jazz for the spiritual and the ancestral. So until next time, guys, peace and blessings, and I will see you guys later.